Hello everyone, and welcome back to week 44 of our Minecraft Let's Play series. How you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. So just like last week, I actually don't have too much planned for this week due to just time constraints, so let's get on ahead and I'll tell you what we're actually doing this week. So as you may have noticed in the beginning part of this video, I went ahead and actually tried to cure another zombie villager because I've been wanting to get another trial chamber for a while so that we can actually try and get the mace. And I actually went ahead and did that. So here's the thing. I literally went ahead and this is where the villager is, right? Here he is all in his glory. But then I went ahead and looked at the map and this is how close the trial chamber is to where I found him. Literally just in that direction. So yeah, we'll be going ahead over there in a second. That's actually going to be our first thing that we're going to do this week. But then finally, I just want to say that I also plan on working on the villager hall, hopefully getting another room completely decorated. That is my hope, as well as going ahead and doing some material gathering for our new storage room plan, and also hopefully getting an idea for like the actual floor plan that I want for said storage room. Because as I said before, we could use more storage again, because the one that we have is currently running out, and I'll have to figure out how I want to do it. So that's the plan for this week, and to start, I'm just going to start walking over to where the trial chamber is so that we can actually go ahead and look through it. I decided not to go ahead and just head back to our base because that kind of seems silly, so that's the reason I started the episode here. But yeah, let's get to it. Oh, and I forgot to mention, yeah, you may have noticed that I went ahead and kind of, died while I was mining out the hole. Yeah, that's just another death to add to the counter, apparently. I've wanted to have all 365 of my levels for a full year. I technically could grind that up again, but I don't care enough. Also, I should mention that I did bring the Amis bottle and the trial keys with us, just the extras that we had, so that we could actually completely rule out this trial chamber. And you already know the drill. I'm going to go through this. If there's something new or interesting, I'll go ahead and show it. But otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead, open up all these vaults, run all the spawners until I've cleared out this entire area. So yeah, see you guys in a bit. I don't actually think we've had this generate before. This is just a bunch of water for us to swim through. So, yeah, something interesting. Oh, you're just a regular zombie in here. Never seen that happen before. Interesting. So it kind of looks like a dock here. I've never seen this one either. But alright. That is actually all of this already gone through and checked. So I'm missing 3 ominous keys. So we're gonna go ahead and run some ominous trials, and then we're going to be done with this place. So yeah, let me go ahead, run through, and hopefully we can get everything. Okay, like, I understand not giving me a heavy core, but really a crossbow, I feel like that's just a kick in the teeth. But sadly that is the end of this trial chamber, so we actually didn't get another heavy core again. And I think this is the 6th one we've gone to. But alright, I guess it's just time for us to swallow our pride and leave. Alright, even though we didn't get another heavy core, I will, of course, show you guys what we did end up getting, which we've got 4 enchanted books, none of which are Windburst. We got Feather Falling 1, Feather Falling 3, Channeling, and Breach 3. Enchanted Golden Apple, of course, 2 enchanted diamond chest plates, 3 flow banner patterns, flow armor trim, diamonds, emeralds, iron, 2 bad omens, literally on opposite sides of the scale. We didn't go ahead and make back our keys, but we at least didn't get 0 of the ominous in the regular trial keys, so we do have some for the next time. Breeze rods, the arrows of slowness and poison, wind charges, potion of strength, along with regen and swiftness, and then decorated pots. I would just like to go ahead and get the heavy core and just be done with this at this point, but we'll see how long that takes. Because I haven't even gotten the wind burst enchantment yet, so you know, neither of the things I've wanted for a while. But I digress. Even though that we didn't get what we wanted from the trial chamber, that does not mean that I'm going to wallow in sorrow. No, I'm instead going to distract myself by working on the villager hall. Now, here's the thing. I've actually had a lot of time to go ahead and start planning more for the villager hall, so there is a lot that I now know what I want to do with it, but we're still going to only be chipping away at it every week due to the fact that I don't want to spend too much time, at least on this week, on our villager hall. We're still going to be spending a decent amount of time, but we're not going to be going ahead and spending the rest of this episode on it. Maybe in the future we'll go ahead and do a full episode dedicated to the villager hall, but that is if I am desperate. But obviously, to go ahead and build our villager hall, I need to go gather a lot of block types, 37 types to be exact. And I'll show you guys what the list looks like after I grab everything. And alright, after going ahead and looking at what we had around here, as well as what we had over at the villager hall, these are the blocks that I'm going to be using, but we are still missing a few select block types. We're missing mycelium, blackstone brick slabs, crimson hyphae, warped hyphae, nether warp blocks, hay bales, and targets. So I'm going to go ahead and run around our world a little bit to go ahead and grab those, and then we'll finally go ahead and just head over to our villager hall. And alright, now that I've gone ahead and gathered all the items that I was missing, which was from here to down here, we can now go ahead and start building, which the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and detail this little hallway. I want to go ahead and put a actual wall here, as well as get the floor to finally have these missing carpets placed, because I don't know if you've noticed them, but they haven't been here in a while, so let me go ahead and grab that really quick. And there we go. We have now a little bit more of a detailed hall. These actually have walls in them. They're not just straight to the backs of the areas. As well as I finally decided on what I wanted to do for the little trim here. I went ahead and put another lantern here because I found out these were actually quite dark in the nighttime. Or just dark in general when there's actually a roof over here, which I do have plans for a roof. I have a lot of plans for this place. I'm just not going to be doing all of them this week. But now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to build the second floor in both this room and this room. I'm not going to be decorating this room, but I'm just going to be building the floor so that we can actually walk around in it. Oh, and actually I'm also going to go ahead and put the final trim around the bottom base as well, just to go ahead and get that done, because it's the exact same for the rest of the rooms. And there we go, there's the floor done for this area. I went ahead and just did the same thing as per usual. It is the dark wood, light wood, wooden fence, bricks, lanterns below, and obviously I went ahead and did the trim too. Something I also forgot to mention that when I was talking about this is that these back here also go ahead and work as a little bit of storage in case for some reason I want to put something here. But alright, now we've got the main project for today, which is this entire room, which is obviously gonna be the second floor, the bottom floor, walls, and I think that's actually it. But it is gonna take a bit, so let's get started. Alright, now that we have the second floor built as well as the trim, I think it's just time to go ahead and build the first floor, which I'm going to warn you guys now, it's going to look really strange at first, but I promise you it'll be alright. Yeah, I told you guys it's gonna look weird. But I do have reasoning behind this. Besides the square pattern, I don't have reasoning behind that. Besides, that was what I thought would look good. And also, I keep looking over there just to make sure there was no enemies coming up. But, yeah, no, so the thing with this is I chose gravel because of the Fletchers, because, you know, gravel turns into flint, flint arrows. It just made sense. Mycelium was for brewers because it's just kind of like witch-like to me, and that's kind of what I associate brewers with. And then the path blocks are technically a substitute in for farm blocks for the farmers up there, but also path blocks just look neater to me. So yeah, this is our floor. It doesn't look horrible, but you know, it's gonna look a little weird for a while. Now, obviously, it is time for us to go ahead and work towards actually building the walls of this place. We'll start down here, and then we'll go up and finish up there. And here's a look at the first floor. We've got our little archery area with targets, dispensers, and I couldn't think of anything else for archers, so I just had buttons here. That was the best thing. I was gonna do copper buttons too, but then I was like, oh, we don't have those in the game at the moment, so these are just acacia. There's also nothing in the dispensers. If we press this, nothing comes out. And then over here, I thought that for the actual brewers, that like the nether warp block made the most sense, and then I just kind of went ahead and just used the trees from the nether to decorate the area. And then just to go ahead and connect these two, I thought putting some mossy stone bricks just made more sense for some reason. It just kind of looked all right with each other. So yeah, now to the second floor. And there we go. There is now the top floor done with the decoration for the farmers as well as the other layer of archers. Fletchers, that's what they are called. I keep calling them archers because it just kind of makes more sense to me. But yeah, same design as down there for the Fletchers, but the farmers up here instead get some nice rooted dirt and coarse dirt, which have melons and pumpkins on top of them, as well as some hay bales that actually do split up the area a little bit for the farmers. And then, of course, you got the top wall that looks like I've just kind of scrambled them together, which isn't wrong. But yeah, all in all, I'm quite happy with the design for the fact that I had to work with 3 different job types on this floor. Or not floor, but this area in general, which makes me terrified to work on that one because it has 7 block types. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, and I'm glad with how much progress we're making on this. Oh, and actually, before I forget, this is not mossy stone bricks, this is mossy cobblestone. Just because I thought, well, this is actually what I chose first, and then I just thought, I'll work with this because it's similar. It'll be fine. But yeah, now let's head back to our base, and I want to talk more about the storage system that we had talked about in the previous week. So I'll meet you guys over there. And now that we're back, we're actually going to go ahead and spend the rest of the week gathering materials. And you may be wondering why. Well, you see, I did want to go ahead and start work on our storage system, but the thing is, we don't have that much wood. We're also all out of oak. We don't have much birch, spruce, dark oak, just all the log types. Even these is kind of pitiful. So what I want to do was I want to go ahead and gather enough wood to fill up these slots, just get these 4 types because these are the ones I usually work with the most, as well as I also want to grab some sand because I realized that we were running low on it. But during that time, I also want to go ahead and talk about a few things due to the fact that I believe now that we are only 8 weeks away from a full year, and I'm not even going to be counting the last week because that one I've got a little something special planned, but I feel like it is now time for us to start talking about things going forward. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and head over to a forest to start chopping down trees, and I will meet you guys over there. Alright, so first off, I actually want to go ahead and start talking about plans that I have for the rest of this year, because, well, I usually don't have set goals in a week, or goals for the year, at least at first. I now actually do have some things that I want to go ahead and finish up before the year ends. First of those being, actually, is our villager hall, due to the fact that, well, we've been working so long on it, and I feel like it is coming to a close. So what I'm hoping is that by the end of year 1, we will at least have the entire structure made. I'm not saying that we need to have all the villagers put in at the moment. We just need to have the building that will house all the villagers and the respective, like, storage completely done. That is my hope. I don't know if we'll get to the storage system being done, but basically the main building is kind of what I'm hoping to have done there. I think that is a fair thing to want for the end of year 1. The next thing I hope to have done by the end of year 1 is the fact that I have gotten so unlucky with maces at this point, or at least heavy cores to make the mace. I think we've gone through almost 6 trial chambers currently, and we haven't gotten a single mace. And I want to hopefully get a mace by the end of year 1, so we can go ahead and get that advancement, and we can also just enchant it to be a very good weapon. Which actually brings me into my second category, which is the fact of what do I want to do for year 2, because obviously we're not going to be done after year 1. I feel like that would just be strange. And with that, one of the things I want to do, or I think I want to do, is I actually want to go for all advancements in this game. I've talked about doing that beforehand. That's the whole reason we had one episode dedicated to it at one point. But I feel now is just the time to go ahead and actually sit down and do the last 3 advancements. Now, in my opinion, the one for the mace isn't hard. You just have to go ahead and get the mace. But the other 2 I'm missing are 2 of the hardest advancements, which are the ones both linked up to potion effects and just effects in general. Now, there are some things that in year 2 would probably be good to build for that advancement, specifically like maybe a bad omen farm, just to get the how do we get here advancement. But we shall see. I think I might, but that is possibly a thing that won't happen immediately in year 2, but it's just something I want to do into year 2. But besides going ahead and doing all advancements, there is also some build projects I've been thinking about doing in year 1, and then I just decided that maybe it's not a good idea to just go and hop into another build project at the end of the year. One of these build projects is actually something I've talked about in the past, but I haven't really thought about doing yet, and that would be the Nether Highway, because as you may know, it actually is very annoying to go through the Nether at the moment. I use the Nether roof to traverse throughout our world, but in all honesty, even that, just getting it up to the Nether roof is not necessarily safe where I do it from. So I think that we're going to need to go ahead and at some point in the next year, we're going to have to go ahead and make another highway, at least something just to keep me safe and maybe even make travel faster without having to use Elytras. Now, another thing that comes to mind when we have year 2 plans is also the fact of something I've been working on for quite a while now, and that would be the mining town that I've been digging that giant hole for. And I'm digging it down to bedrock Bedrock, so it's been taking a while, but that is something I do actually want to do around when year 2 comes, due to the fact that I believe that we actually should have that hole completely dug out by the end of year 1, if not by the very beginning of year 2. So, that is also something that I hope to get done, or at least started on. I also want to do some more work on our starter base because I feel that we've made a decent amount of progress in actually like decorating around there, but I feel like we will have a lot more to actually add to it, especially because right now what I'm doing is actually going to be adding to the base eventually. So hopefully I can go ahead and make more buildings, as well as just hopefully give it a bit more function, because right now there's not really much reason for us to go around that town. And then finally, on the concept of year 2 things, I want to go ahead and also, funnily enough, build a tree farm at some point, because with how much wood I use in my build projects and just how much wood I use in general, I don't want to have to keep going ahead and mining out all these trees. I just feel like it's going to take some time away from the week, and we could be using that time wisely in other areas instead of just wasting it away mining and chopping trees. However, onto a different topic is the thing of abandoned projects, which you may not actually know, but I did abandon a project slightly, but I don't intend to leave it abandoned forever. And the project in question actually is, you may remember that back in January, I uploaded a video where I had gone ahead and built a giant jelly statue to go ahead and remember Jelly by, and then I just didn't really do anything else with it. Like, we have a giant cat statue in the middle of our world, and well, that's because I originally wanted to go ahead and build like a small town around that statue, but then I quickly decided not to at the moment because I was afraid of having to follow a strict rule set, or not rule set, but more of a building design. And let me tell you, we are going to go back to that build. It is not going to be completely gone forever or just left alone. But right now, I still want to figure out what I'm planning on doing with like the actual aesthetic of that place. It theoretically should be easier now due to the fact that we now have like the tough bricks and everything, because I used tough in the base of the statue, but we'll see. Now, with all the things that I've already talked about over the year done, let's go ahead and talk about future plans that I don't really think I've actually gone ahead and gone into at all. Mainly, these are all going to be build projects that I've thought of doing, and I've wrote them down in the book a while back, but I never actually explicitly talked about them. The first one on the list is a mass piglin barter trading system, and that is just due to the fact that I feel we can utilize the piglins very well if I go ahead and make a big system, kind of to use all the gold from our gold farm, because I feel just that there are some things that we can get from piglins that we just can't get anywhere else, and getting mass quantities of them isn't a bad idea. The only issue with that though is that making one is easier said than done, because you can't just use like water in the nether obviously to transport items, so I've been avoiding it for that reason, because if I want to make a big trading system, then I'm going to actually have to figure out the logistics of how that's going to work. Then, while we're also talking about the nether, I want to go ahead, as well as making the nether tunnels that I talked about earlier, I want to go ahead and make another hub around our portal, just so that, I don't know, I like the idea of having a decorated nether as well as decorate everything else that we have, so that's kind of just the only reason for that. Also, it'd probably be safer to keep away all the gas that keeps shooting at me whenever I go into the nether. Then I've also wanted to go ahead and build a floating island at our world. Just no reason more than I just want to see if I can do it. It's been a build project that I've always wanted to do in Minecraft, and I think honestly trying it out here would be a really neat idea, but we'll see how that goes. And then finally was a project I've actually had planned out for a while, and it has something to do with the fact that I went ahead and fought the Ender Dragon 20 times to get all of the end gateways up around our end portal. portal, and that is the fact that I want to redecorate the end island at some point because it's always been something I wanted to do, and I've tried doing it when I went ahead and streamed hardcore Minecraft, but I never got around to actually finishing that project. So yeah, that covers all of the future plans that I also have too, at least for now. I obviously will have more because I don't think if I even went ahead and did everything that I just told you guys about, that it would take up the entirety of the second year, but who knows? We shall see. And that is actually all I wanted to talk to you guys about when it comes to future plans for this world. It's a lot of that I've had on my mind, and I thought it'd only be fair to tell you guys kind of where this world is going and where this series is going. At least what I hope we'll be able to do in the next year, or even just at the end of this year. But yeah, it's just been something I've been thinking about, so I wanted to tell you guys. And if you guys actually have any suggestions or any ideas for me of things to do or build, let me know. I do actually go ahead and read the comments on the videos, and I do try to reply to them. So if you guys have any ideas or any thoughts of things I could do, just leave a comment. I'll check it out. There are actually some that I've gotten from some people that I have not forgotten about, don't worry, that I do intend on doing at some point in the future. And while I was going ahead and blabbing everyone's ear off, which I do apologize for if you found that annoying, we did end up getting all the resources that I want. Here's the birch, oak, spruce, dark oak, blackstone, and then a full shulker box of sand. So hopefully that will last us at least a little bit, but who knows, I might run through that all while we're building the villager hall or something. But sadly, that is it for this week of our Minecraft Let's Play series. We did end up finally going through Trial Chamber, and we did end up doing more work on the villager hall, as well as preparation for the storage system and, you know, the villager hall with materials. So I think that we went ahead and used our time wisely this week. Next week will probably be similar, where we'll actually go ahead and work on building the storage system, hopefully, but then also we'll go ahead and work on the trial chamber and the villager hall because like I said earlier, those are two things I want to get done before the end of year one. But yeah, nonetheless, I thank you all for watching. You guys take care, have a great week, and I will see you guys hopefully in the next one. Alright, bye bye.